Hi, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. Well, kind of. Being a fan only goes so far for the things you actually like about a property. I like what Kingdom Hearts used to be like, Final Fantasy characters and bosses, Disney characters and bosses, and a dramatic story with expressive, original characters and emotional moments.
A true hero is measured by the strength of his heart. I'll never forget that again.
How dare you get a happy ending? How dare you!
346 minutes later. You were feeling down and out. How'd you get your strength back?
I wanted to save her with all my heart, but it's not like I could tell you how.
In this video, I am going to show what exactly the difference is between the characters we used to have and the characters we have now, and how the writing in the series has changed so much that it renders the whole story practically meaningless. Let's go! Acting, voice acting, and dramatic moments are the backbone of the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Mixed together with Disney, Final Fantasy, and amazing music, you have your formula for a good Kingdom Hearts game. I will show some examples of how characters act, talk, and more importantly, react to the situation they get thrown in. Now, don't get me wrong, Kingdom Hearts' plot has never been solid or sensible. Take this scene for example.
No, this huge black thing swallowed me up. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't... Ow.
Are you still dreaming?
So bizarre.
Yeah, sure.
Say, Kairi, what was your hometown like? You know, where you grew up?
I've told you before. I don't remember.
Sora just told Kairi about his nightmare, and the next thing he asks her about is her hometown. Just out of the blue, so that Kairi gets the opportunity to tell us about it. Even though if Sora already knows that she doesn't know. But until Dream Drop Distance and beyond, this kind of approach gets dialed up into ridiculous levels. Until then, looking at the story they were going for, however, is totally fine. Because the story has a lot of dramatic scenes that lets you forget just how stupid the plot actually is.
Sora, dinner's ready. Come on down. Sora?
Once we step through, we might not be able to come back. We may never see our parents again. There's no turning back.
And like everyone knows, the parents do not matter at all because that's not part of the story, and that's fine. So even for Kingdom Hearts itself, logic does not matter. But what does matter is the amazing performance of our characters.
Sora!
Forget it. There's no way you're taking Kairi's heart.
Sora? Are you really? No, he can't be. I won't let him go! This time I'll protect you.
And why those 7? What is Maleficent planning anyway?
Who knows? As long as it means getting Kairi's heart back, I couldn't care less.
What's most important are the characters and the plot that comes in second. What modern Kingdom Hearts seem to have long forgotten is that the characters used to be people with more than 3 emotions and mindsets. I prepared a few direct comparisons. Characters used to think about how people might react if they experienced something.
Sora.
I still can't believe it. I really flew. Wait till I tell Kairi. I wonder if she'll believe me. Probably not.
You can bring her to Neverland sometime. Then she can try it herself.
Sora!
Characters had questions and were overwhelmed by what they were seeing.
Huh? What are you supposed to be? Surprised? I guess you should be. After all, I look just like you.
Had a couple of plot points that needed ironing out.
Master Xehanort, tied to the darkness, soon to be completely eclipsed.
Well, whoever you are, stop freaking me out like this. Huh? Well, where did you come from?
Better hurry, Ventus,
Huh? Who are you?
or you'll never see Terra again.
What? Get real. I can see Terra anytime I want.
Whatever situation characters were in, they always had something to say and emotions to express.
I made a promise to you that I would find a way, didn't I? Oh.
I'm okay. Don't worry. Guess I'm just relieved. I've been alone so long that having someone else around is a little overwhelming.
When did they fall to darkness?
You're in the realm of light.
You're home!
You're home!
And no matter the situation, characters always had their opportunity to speak. Gasping for air wasn't just a method to fill the gaps because you didn't want to bother to write anything substantial at all.
Sora.
Now you're gonna...
They are questioning others and themselves, and more importantly, they don't change their mood or mind on a whim. When Sora is angry, he is angry.
Sora, that was no way to...
Keep it to yourself!
Oh, come now. You're Marluxia's puppet already?
After I finish you, he's next!
This is it. Where's Kairi? Where's Riku?
Easy. You want to break it?
Sora, what happened to you?
What's that mean?
Well, you always get real touchy when it comes to stuff about Naminé. But before we came to this castle, you didn't even remember what her name was.
Naminé's the only thing you talk about.
It doesn't make sense. Maybe you should just slow down and think ahead about some of these things.
Think ahead? What is the matter with you guys?
When he is sad, he's sad.
You're thinking Riku isn't your friend. But that's just not true.
You sure? So he just forgot?
My guess is that's so. But Sora, instead of being sad, we have to figure out a way to help Riku get his memory back. If we all work together, why, we're sure to get you through this. No need to mow.
Yeah. Okay. He's gone.
Sorry.
Hey, it's not your fault. Come on, cheer up. Like I can even say that. I gotta help Kyrie. I looked for you.
Come on, Sora. You've got to pull it together.
Compare this to Kingdom Hearts 3 and he's angry and sad that Kyrie died for like 2 minutes.
Oh, don't give up.
We thought you might be able to use a couple of more half points.
Donald. Goofy.
Typical. You can't do anything without us, Sora.
Now wipe those tears. And let's go stop Master Xehanort.
Yeah. But he controls Kingdom Hearts now.
And after that, shows no anger anymore. That's not how people work. This is a common thread you will be seeing from every new Kingdom Hearts game that is coming out. Because what doesn't matter is their feelings, what matters is the plot. Whatever emotions Sora or anybody else is feeling, it would be nice if that emotion would be integrated into the plot and his actions instead of, taking a scene out for him to be angry. This is what Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, for example, or even Kingdom Hearts 2 did beautifully.
It'd serve you right if I decided to smash this piece of junk.
Let it go! Who asked you?
Oh, does it hurt because it's the truth? You are just a baby.
Was that supposed to be a joke? 'Cause I'm not laughing.
And it seems whoever is directing the action or who is writing the dialogue doesn't even bother to think about emotions or expressions at all, because in newer games they seem to lack a lot of it. Here is one of my favorite examples.
Please don't tell me that you're spying on her now.
Oh, Larxene! Don't turn this around on us. You're following her.
Ooh, look at you get all sassy.
This is not sassy. In fact, Sora reacts kind of lifeless and dead. Do you remember what sassy Sora was really like? Sora being sassy for 11 straight minutes, go!
There's this guy, Pete, who's been going around plotting with the Heartless. But he's not smart enough to tie his own shoes. Tough talk for someone who stood on the sidelines while his nobody flunkies did the fighting.
Oh dear. I think you got the wrong impression.
You gonna cry?
That's right! He used to give me that same exact look.
I guess you think you can psych me out by saying really random stuff.
It ends now.
Right now!
You deceived your commanding officer, shamed the entire Chinese army, and dishonored your family name.
We get the picture.
It seems we were fated to meet. Maybe you need a guardian.
Guardian? Thanks, but no thanks. What a hag. Who are you calling punks? It's Sora, Donald, and Goofy to you, and don't you forget it.
That we won't. And we'll engrave it on your tombstone. to be sure.
Whoa, I like your style.
We only get to stomp on a few of you?
By the way, have you seen a man named Axel? I expect he's here somewhere.
Like I care.
You see, Axel's no longer acting in our best interest.
Is he with the organization too?
Yes.
You having a fight?
Not a very organized organization.
Don't let your guard down. Axel will stop at nothing to turn you into a Heartless.
Gee, thanks for looking out for us, mister. But I'm sure we can take care of ourselves just fine. Who are you?
I am Commander Sark.
A Heartless commander?
Observe.
Okay, you're the boss. I get it.
Oh yes, a reward. And what'll it be?
That lovely blade of Sora's.
Huh? Okay, sure.
Hold on, that was far too easy. What's the rub? There, you see?
He and Sora are kind of alike, don't you think?
Are not?
So where are you guys headed next?
You know. You two lovebirds seem to be getting along just fine without us hanging around.
How can I be defeated again by a pack of filthy street rats?
Don't mess with street rats.
Of course, I do have my silly limits.
Okay, then I'll tweak your program when I get back to the user world.
You? Maybe we better not try that.
Aw, how about it, guys? Singin' Tron, dancin' Tron. Sound good?
Yeah!
Leave us alone! No! We can take him on our own.
But now Sora is not only not sassy anymore, his only traits are confused.
Oh yeah! It sounds like somebody forgot.
That's Sora!
I just took my time remembering.
Happy.
I gotta tell Riku what a blast this place is.
But we just got here. We haven't even done anything yet.
Sad.
What do we do? Without them, all my strength came from them. They gave me all of it. Alone? I'm worthless.
And stupid.
There are always new paths between hearts for us to discover and traverse. But you already know that.
Yeah.
And as you have already probably noticed, scenes in 3 are drastically slower than they used to be. Characters take a lot more time to respond, and the way they do respond is also pretty bland and devoid of character. Now, don't get me wrong, the older games had a few of them too.
Now, what to do?
Well... We could find the real thieves. That would set the record straight.
But usually those scenes had narrative intent, and also their body language and face expressions compensated for the gap where characters don't talk.
My name is Namine.
Great!
Hey, Yuffie. Have you seen the king and Riku?
Nope.
But I had a feeling I'd see you guys again.
We may never meet again, but we'll never forget each other.
Is that supposed to be Leon?
After comparing older games with newer ones, I personally got the impression that whoever wrote the newer games tried as much as they could to avoid any kind of meaningful reaction from the main cast. And what makes it even worse, this kind of approach leads to scenes who are supposed to be emotional actually feeling bland and as basic as you could possibly imagine. And for Kingdom Hearts, that's a shame. That in itself wouldn't even be that bad if the focus wouldn't be directed to the never-ending cliffhangers. And the characters start to act more like puppets instead of actual characters. Well, that's not fair. Here are some puppets who do a great job at acting.
I'm still just empty! Everything about me is borrowed. As long as you're around, I'll never be more than a shadow! My heart was never real. What happens when a fake dies? One like me. Where will my heart go? Does it disappear? This Keyblade, it's a sham. Worthless.
My Keyblade is not a sham. What gives you the right to say that? I'm not a sham. My mission is to go out and collect hearts. If I'm unable to use the Keyblade, I'll be useless. Well, you and I may both be exceptional, Roxas, but I don't think we're quite the same. I have dreams every night, and you're in those dreams, Axel.
And they sure aren't memories. How can I be a part of your past? They're just dreams, that's all.
You can't fool me. We've met before, Axel. Right here in this castle. I really can't.
Why not? Come on! Wait!
Well, that didn't take long. Did it break again?
She's not an it!
Keep your mouth shut.
So, do you hate me for taking your friend away from you?
Nah. I guess I'm just sad.
Look at me, Roxas. Who do you see? If you see somebody else's face, a boy's face, then that means I'm almost ready. This puppet will have to play her part. Roxas, this is him. It's Sora.
It not only shows how the characters act differently, it also shows that whoever is writing the story doesn't even know how they are supposed to act. And if anyone wants to justify this by character arcs or growth, I would happily agree with that if the characters would actually be acting like characters. I have over 30 hours of cutscenes on my computer alone, and you could skip most of it without actually missing anything important. Mostly the characters use the screen time to describe the plot of the past or the present to you.
This is all very touching, guys, but where do I fit in? Ven looks just like Roxas. Or is it Roxas looks just like Ven? And now I have to explain all of that to him, which is in itself a crazy long story. And apparently everybody already knows everyone, and this is an insane amount to get memorized.
Sorry, Lee.
I've had it with this stupid treasure hunt. Every box we've found's been nothing but a bust.
I agree.
And that is neither a story nor anything like what we used to be getting. Even worse, characters that started off great just get sidelined for the sake of a plot that is practically meaningless.
Set your heart free.
Wait, you don't care about her. You guys just want Rapunzel for your own purposes. Well, you're done here.
All that's left in my heart is misery and despair. And now, you can share it.
The story of Kingdom Hearts is quite literally meaningless at this point. What started out as a grand adventure into any possible kind of space or universe in existence turned into an adventure into oblivion. Even if a lot of people managed to make sense of the story or lore, and even if this will be making sense, which it doesn't, that's really all there is. Does anybody remember the Heartless? No, I mean, really. Did everybody on the team forget that the Heartless used to be animals and human beings? If so, why doesn't anyone ever mention that? Or the fact that Kairi had the power to save Sora from that fate? This plot point in itself is self-evident that the characters don't actually act like characters. They only act for the plot of the week, and neither do they plan or care about how to save the worlds anymore. Because it's not about the worlds, it's about Lushu and the Masters of Masters and the box and whatever the hell is, meaningful at the current time. This is what Kingdom Hearts' story is about now. The fact that our main characters are affected by anything is only something that shall happen once and then forgotten. This approach, though, is at odds with what the story was going for and destroys its own theme and structure in the process. Let's take Saix and Xehanort as an example. Because these two used to be prime examples about what the main themes of Kingdom Hearts used to be about. Saix used to be non-emotional because nobodies were introduced to not have hearts.
Is Kingdom Hearts really that important?
Are you crazy?
I just don't see why having a heart is that important, you know?
Come on. You're wondering about that now?
Well, I don't understand since I don't have a heart.
Roxas.
We'll understand once we have our own hearts. That's why we fight, to find out what it's about.
Then they rewrote the story to them having a heart of some sort. While these two things are not bad on their own, they do strip a lot of scenes of believability and emotional impact. When you introduce characters that do not have feelings, their behavior and reactions are also affected.
Your Riku was supposed to counter Sora. What's he waiting for? Where is he?
He's hiding somewhere to lure Sora deeper into the castle, right? I suppose we should just leave it at that, you know.
Aha! Oh, I see now. I would have never guessed that. So sorry, Vexen.
Silence!
Predictable response. Forget it. Men without hearts are so boring.
The answer's no.
You rotten!
Are you angry? Do you hate me? Then take that rage and direct it at the Heartless.
Let's take Demix as a prime example.
Hey, you guys are looking lively.
Scram!
Didn't we catch you messing around in the underworld? How'd a wimp like you get into Organization 13? I bet you can't even fight.
Yeah, but we can.
You shouldn't judge anyone by appearance.
Oh, I told them they were sending the wrong guy. Who is this kook?
Remember, the organization's made up of nobodies.
Right. No hearts.
Oh, we do too have hearts. Don't be mad.
You can't trick us.
This scene, when you take the lore with no hearts, shows a person who is trying to behave like he had a heart. And that makes sense. Especially with his last sentence.
Silence, traitor.
His tone shifts and reveals that everything before was just an act. Demix wants to be upbeat and cheerful, but literally can't. Him fighting for Kingdom Hearts makes sense. So watching Organization 13 deal with those feelings is more sad, because we understand the motivations.
Lend me your power so that we may be complete.
Axel, what were you trying to do?
I wanted to see Roxas. He was the only one I liked. He made me feel like I had a heart. It's kind of funny.
I need more rage. I need more hearts.
Xemnas, there's more to a heart than just anger or hate. It's full of all kinds of feelings. Don't you remember?
Unfortunately, I don't.
If we didn't have feelings and getting Kingdom Hearts was our only option, we would also probably do the same thing, just to become human again. If you rewrite it to them having emotions, it is an explanation for some scenes turning out the way they did, but you could also write it off as just remembering those emotions, still making it sad.
Everybody's unique.
Even nobody's without hearts?
Just because we don't all have hearts doesn't mean that we're all exactly the same. We each have memories of our pasts.
Memories?
You remember your past?
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes each member of the organization special.
Just give it a rest. You're nobodies. You don't even exist. You're not sad about anything.
Very good. You don't miss a thing. I cannot feel sorrow. No matter what misery befalls the worlds, no matter what you think, what you feel, or how you exist.
Them having hearts adds nothing emotional and only makes your established emotions more confusing for the sake of wanting to be complex. That also counts for Norting your characters. At this rate, you can only guess what might be going on for the sake of your plot. So just to be clear, the problem isn't the twist itself, it's what the twist is taking away. Because before you had a sad story about people who wanted to become human again.
You have changed. What happened at Castle Oblivion? Does the past mean nothing to you? Why? Kingdom Hearts. Where is my heart?
But now that story is a lie. And for what?
Back when we were still friends, we used to sneak into the castle.
Yeah.
And we made a friend there, a girl.
And now we played Kingdom Hearts 3. Saïx's performance in Kingdom Hearts 2 makes no sense anymore. Especially when his characterization before he turned into a nobody was seemingly just as cheerful as Axel was. So he had no reason to be acting as cold as he did. And after being completed, he acts just as grumpy as he did before. So now you're in a situation where you wrote yourself into a corner because your priority is now twisting your story for the sake of complexity. And don't get me started on Larxene and the rest of the cast. Because this is not a story anymore. Logic does not matter to Kingdom Hearts. It never mattered. And yet it insists on putting the focus on its lore anyway. The performance of Saïx and the rest of the characters have taken a back seat in service of updating your Wikipedia entry.
Stop it.
It was, unfortunately, unnecessary because it lowers your emotional impact you had before. Terra, just like Riku, had difficulties controlling his darkness and needed to learn to accept it. After his arc, he learned to accept it, because his drive to protect his friends is what made him strong enough to stand against Xehanort. His darkness and hatred for Xehanort was so strong that he was able to manifest it into his lingering will. Only for lingering will to be killed off without any consequences or comment whatsoever, and for Terra to walk up to Xehanort in the end, after basically ruining his life and that of his friends, just to be like, yeah, whatever. This quest for darkness and revenge was rendered meaningless and is only topped by Xehanort himself, destroying the meaning of darkness in the process. Xehanort in this game was introduced and voiced beautifully.
Why do you seek the Keyblade? Would you blanket all the worlds in darkness? Reduce them to nothing?
But darkness did cover the world once, in legend. We know so little about the Keyblade War. Only that it was just the beginning. Amidst that crisis, a precious light was found. It is a curious tale, and one worth exploring. They say ruin brings about creation. So what then would another Keyblade War bring? When the darkness falls, will we be found worthy of the precious light the legend speaks of? I must have these answers. Darkness is a beginning, you see, not an end. At birth, every one of us emerges from darkness into a world of light, do we not?
Poetic excuses.
I swore I would survive, and be there to see what awaited beyond the Keyblade War. And now it is your darkness that shall be the arc that sustains me!
But unfortunately, he also got sidelined for the sake of a never-ending plot. He was introduced as an innocent teenager who wanted to get off his island. Then later learned that darkness in itself is not entirely bad. Then began his study to discover what darkness truly is, and later was so obsessed in his pursuit for that knowledge that he went to any extent to reach his goal. And now, when we get to Kingdom Hearts 3, his motivations are this.
The light of Kingdom Hearts. It can give us a new start. An empty world, pure and bright.
It wasn't your decision to make.
That
And whose was it? The world needs someone to stand up and lead. Someone strong. To stop the weak from polluting the world with their endless darkness.
And not only that, his friend was also cool with him for all the crap they went through. Because of him.
There you will watch your dear Ventus and Aqua meet their ends. And the last light within you will die.
If these are supposed to be characters with their own motivations and feelings, it only reveals that they don't give a shit. It doesn't matter what anybody does to them as long as the story gets where it wants to go. It's not a surprise that many people say that the cast is bland and basically the same because they all literally act the same. The few character traits we do get just get neglected, if not even forgotten. The theme Xehanort was supposed to deliver was telling us what darkness is about. And you don't even need to reveal Kingdom Hearts for that. We know Kingdom Hearts is light.
You're wrong. I know now, without a doubt. Kingdom Hearts is light.
And that light is covered in darkness, just like the Heartless are. But why?
But why?
That was a theme Riku, Terra and Xehanort were made to explore. Especially for Riku and Terra. Their source of darkness exists to protect the people they care about. So then, we will know that fear, anger and rage is there to protect.
What else is darkness but hate and rage?
You won't fade. You can't fade. There's no power that can defeat you. Not the light, not the dark. So don't run from the light, and don't fear the darkness, because both will make you stronger.
Make me stronger? Darkness too?
Yeah, strength that's yours. The darkness inside your heart, it's vast and it's deep. But if you can, truly stare into it and never try to look away, you won't be afraid of anything again. Follow the darkness. It'll show you the way to your friends.
Can I face them?
You don't want to?
You know I do. Of course.
Your darkness belongs to you, just the same way your light does. Up till now, I thought darkness was something that should never exist. Then, I spent time with you and changed my mind.
So, Kairi's like a lifeless puppet now?
Precisely.
And her heart was...
Taken by the Heartless, no doubt.
Tell me, what can I do? Soon, Kairi. Soon.
Darkness cannot be destroyed. It can only be channeled.
Yes. Thank you, Master.
Wait! It's dangerous to fight the darkness with light, my dear. Jealousy is darkness. Light and dark go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
You and I can do the world's much greater good by wielding light and darkness in equal shares.
Remember, there are no winners, only truths. For when equal powers clash, their nature is revealed. Begin.
Your body submits, your heart succumbs. So why does your mind resist?
You know, maybe the darkness has gotten to me too.
If this is what the world really is, just this, then maybe I should fade back into darkness.
Riku.
If the world is made of light and darkness, will be the darkness.
Yeah. The other side. The realm of light is safe now. Kyrie, the king, and the others are there.
That's what I mean.
Just like the Heartless protect their hearts. Just like darkness protects Kingdom Hearts. And just like the Guardian protects Ansem. But they failed at that. Why? Keep buying our games and maybe you will find out. That's the trade-off, I'm afraid. When you start emphasizing your lore over the story, your story has no meaning anymore besides finding out what is hidden from you constantly.
They'll remain a part of each other's lives, no matter what. Come on, I know you want to try it.
What are you talking?
I really loved Kingdom Hearts for the ideas it offered, but I really can't be bothered anymore. Unless we go back to interesting character interactions and storytellings we used to have. I mean, believe it or not, in the beginning the story wasn't obsessed as much with hearts as it is now. Other things existed for that matter, like having a conscience.
What? You'd rather fight me? Over a puppet that has no heart?
Heart or no heart, at least he still has a conscience.
Conscience?
You might not hear it, but right now it's loud and clear. And it's telling me you're on the wrong side.
A witch trying to manipulate you.
Why are you doing all this for me? What's the catch?
Catch? What's the catch? Silly boy. You're like a son to me. I only want you to be happy.
I seriously doubt that.
Or two men who met their tragic end, just because they thought that their own knowledge was the greatest power.
There is so very much to learn. You understand so little.
Oh yeah? Well, you'll see. I'm gonna get out and learn what's out there.
A meaningless effort.
I understand, though. Unlike me, you have a heart, and you're powerless to control it. Consumed by the jealousy you feel toward the student who surpassed you.
Xehanort, foolish apprentice of a foolish man. You have surpassed nothing. Only proved how little we both know.
And as far as exposition goes, even if Kingdom Hearts never explained things fully, it also wasn't taking a wank over all its mysteries. And more importantly, was happy to give you at least enough information to understand what was happening in the story that was currently being told.
Why has everybody been calling me Roxas?
Because, Sora. Roxas is your nobody.
My... nobody? But that's crazy. I never turned into a heart... Oh. Right.
It was when you came to rescue me. Remember?
Xemnas was the one who found Roxas. He could use the Keyblade because he was your nobody. That's why Xemnas brought him into the organization. But Roxas betrayed them. After that, I fought him because I thought it would help you wake up. I lost.
Compare and contrast to Kingdom Hearts 3D and 3. If you want to know what is happening, play the next game. Kingdom Hearts 365 over 2 days or whatever was just a bonus story, not a full story on its own. But that is now seemingly the standard. Every piece of information is canon and just as important as everything else. And that is Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell. It's about character information, not about character performance anymore. Unfortunately.